Hey FPV pilots, Smooth Virus, Call Sign Virus. Coming in with an update for you guys. So, as you may recall, in my last video I was talking about taking the ham radio exams. I took more than one, I took two. Actually I took three. So that was last Saturday. And I passed the technician and general class amateur radio exams. So pending the FCC issuing me a call sign, or maybe getting my old call sign back, but anyway, pending on the FCC, I will have an current amateur radio license, general class, probably in a week or two. So yay, that has been completed. So anytime I want to power up my Dragon Link or Easy UHF or 1.2 gigahertz video transmitters, we're good to go there. I still need to order some dummy loads. I still would prefer not to have test transmissions come out of the house for the reasons of having the Army base down the street. But the dummy loads are cheap, so I'll just order some. We'll take care of that. And now I'm back in the ham radio again. Like I said, it was a ham in the 1990s. I let it expire because I kind of got out of it, and but you know, I'm still interested in it, and it really should have just really all I needed to do to renew my license was send a letter to the FCC. This was back in the days before. I assume you can do it over the web now, which makes it even easier. But, well, anyway, it's all behind me. I've passed my test, so it doesn't really matter anymore. I still have some VHF and UHF radio gear from when I was a ham before. That might be fun to play around with. I'd like to do HF. But the problem is, here in the city, I don't have a lot of room to put an antenna up, and some of these antennas that these ham radio operators are using on the shortwave bands are huge, and I don't have room to put up a 66-foot long dipole antenna up in the backyard because the backyard is rather small. So I'm looking into some options. I mean, there's things you can do. I'm not convinced I'm gonna do it yet. Getting a bunch of ham radio gear is gonna eat into my FPV budget, and there's definitely some projects that I want to do there. So I'm gonna get off the ham radio thing. This isn't really a ham radio channel. This is an FPV channel, so I guess maybe if I really got into ham radio stuff, I could put up a ham radio channel, but that's not the focus of the Rogue Squadron FPV. So, moving on from here, the cold weather has come in, and I actually haven't flown in the last 2 weekends. We got rained out one weekend. Last weekend, I did the ham radio testing stuff one day, and it was just really cold, and I couldn't get motivated enough to head out to fly. So this has actually been the longest break I've had in flying since like May. Weather this weekend is, we're not expecting rain, but it's supposed to be windy, so maybe some windy day flying. Not too windy that we can't fly, but 14-15 mile an hour winds, so maybe I'll go fly my C1 Chaser or something. Actually, I still want to do some autonomous flights in my Mini Talon using the PitLab OSD and autopilot. There's some tests I need to run, and I need to get familiar with how PitLab runs waypoints and routes. So we're kind of into the winter pattern when you're waiting on good enough weather to run tests and stuff like that. So moving on this winter, I still have my ether, my glider that I want to make into an FPV thermal soaring plane. Still need to get servos. The servos aren't cheap, and I want to get a PitLab OSD to put into it. So there's that to consider. And I'm thinking about getting some ham radio gear, but that's going to eat into the budget of putting the ether up in the air. And I've been sitting on that ether kit for I've been sitting on that ether kit for 2 years now. There's also another plane that I definitely plan on getting. Now I already have a brand new Vector just sitting in the box that I've had since the spring, that I was planning on putting into the ether, but the features on the PitLab OSD are so nice. I think the PitLab OSD is a far better autopilot flight controller to put in that plane, because it has a lot of features for thermal soaring that the Vector doesn't do. So I want to put my Vector in something else. I'll announce that at a later date. That's probably a good video all on its own. You know, I think that's about everything I wanted to cover tonight. So what are we at? We're at 7 minutes. That's a good length for a video. So thanks everybody for your support. I will very soon be an officially licensed ham again, and no worries legally for powering up radio transmitters in my house. If they come knock on the door, it's like, you know, I'm all licensed and everything's okay. And we hope that doesn't happen, so, you know, I'll get some dummy loads, and yeah, we don't want to set off any alarms at secure installations in the DC area. Play nice with the neighbors, and that's going to go for the ham radio too. Play nice with the neighbors and be discreet. So you guys have a good one, and I'm going to update you on the planes I plan on getting. We're going to see how much flying we can get in. They're calling for a cold and snowy winter. Past couple winters have been pretty warm. I'd like to keep flying. We'll see how it works out. Yeah, so that's about it. I'm rambling on, and we're at 8 minutes. All right, everybody, you have a good one. Smooth Virus out, and we'll see you later.